40 acres on campus grounds. We gather round, discussing goals and dreams and life's adventures. The Texas Longhorns, they're the talk of the town. High castles of the 40 acres, where we dive deep into the game day stories. From touchdowns to heartbreakers, we discuss it all. Texas Longhorns glory. Yeah, we gather around each Thursday night, talking sports, it's so alright. From football to basketball, baseball to softball, Tim Wayne and Harry, we cover it all. Sports talk is our passion, our delight. Thursday night at 8:30, we unite. We discuss the scores, the plays, the teams who might. Let's dive into the game, let's ignite.
12 conference champions.
Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast. We're a little late. Texas just ties the game against Auburn. There's not much going on the 40 except Texas is back at number one in Texas baseball. College baseball world, exactly where they belong. It only took them a couple months and back at number one, where they should be, where they belong. In a dogfight right now. Some great plays by both teams. Man, these pitchers are pitching. These players are making some great plays defensively.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Texas just keep chugging along. But hey, we're here tonight. We got a short show tonight. We don't have much to talk about. I just want to cover a couple of things. But before we get to that, my guy Tim, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm good, man. Just shout out to you and your Mavericks for making the playoffs.
We did not make the playoffs. We make the second play-in game.
That's a playoff, if you ask me.
Man, I kind of hope we lose, low key. I kind of want to be in the lottery, man. You know who I want in the lottery? Well, we probably won't get him in the lottery, but you know who I want in the draft? I want that guy from Florida, that point guard from Florida.
Oh, okay.
I think he'd be perfect for the Mavericks. I think you could start with him and Brandon Williams next year until Kyrie comes back, and you'll be fine. You'll be just fine.
Yeah. That Kyrie injury is a major blow, dude. I really hate that he's injured, man.
Yeah. If this even with the trade, right? If this Mavericks team was 100% healthy and Kyrie isn't hurt and AD didn't get hurt, this would still probably be the third or fourth best team in the West.
Yeah,
you can argue it could be the second best team. Like you saw how they basically the Kings were irrelevant.
Right.
Like, that's what a healthy Mavs team looks like defensively. Like they are a juggernaut defensively.
Oh yeah. Listen, whether you like AD or not, when he is healthy and he's motivated to play,
that's my problem. He's not always motivated to play.
I don't want to say that he's not motivated, but I want to say like it's like he's in that position. Well, I wouldn't say he's in that position, but it seems like he seems to play in a position to where he turns it on and turns it off.
Yeah.
I don't know, but again,
and that's why you need a playmaker like a Kyrie, right? A guy who, when he's not on, you have somebody else that can be on, right?
Yeah, and I think with Kyrie being on, because Kyrie's usually always on, it makes everybody else like, okay, we need to step up because this guy is trying to get buckets and he's trying to make that offense go. Even with the absence of Luka, which Lakers looking pretty good right now. Can't front. They finished out real strong with the regular season.
All right, 3 seed.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so with the way where they started versus where they ended, listen, Austin Rivers balling, like they look good.
If we had a smart, competent GM, we would have gotten that guy in the trade.
Yeah. But anyway, I've been good. The weather is cool. We got them Indian mornings where it's cool in the morning, but it's blazing hot. But I'll take it. Normally around this time it gets real steamy, and it's starting to pick up here in the great state of Texas. So, man.
What is the weather? I haven't been outside all day. It's 75 right now. That's not too bad.
It's not too bad right now. But listen, when it turns on, and you know this better than anybody, when that sun decides to start cooking,
Yeah, in the middle of the day. Yeah, it's
yeah,
brutal.
yeah, it's still brutal.
It's
So
brutal.
listen, I'll take the cool evenings, I'll take the cool mornings as long as we could possibly go. I know it's around the corner to end. We run into May, and even though a lot of people don't really experience heat until June, we don't get that luxury. We just don't get that same luxury. So
We're lucky we get it early on in the year. Which listen, to be fair, I prefer this over the cold weather anyway.
yeah, I don't want to
Give me 70 over 40 any day.
I don't want to be in Ohio and it's 40 degrees.
Yeah,
On a April afternoon. I don't want
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, I'm not. I don't. FanBattleSports.com. FanBattle Sports. Go follow them. Go do other things. Let's speed through that real quick. Follow us on Twitter.
Yes,
At LH Fan Battle.
It's been popping for us.
Almost at 3,000 followers. This is where I want to focus. Hit us up on the YouTubes, guys. I'm actually working on a way to where soon, we'll also be able to stream to TikTok. And I think that's really going to help us out. So just stay tuned there. Hopefully over the next 3 or 4 weeks, we'll be able to figure that out. We'll do some test runs over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll be able to get you guys on TikTok. But please go to the YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. I know there's 70 of you guys in here right now. There's up to 80, 90 people sometimes in here. We appreciate it, but really the help is going to be going to YouTube, following, liking, and subscribing to the show. All right, Tim. Let's get right into it. A legend retired today. And this is a legend that's had some great moments on the 40.
Yep.
And so Lee Corso, it's officially announced that August 30th will be his final College Game Day show.
Mm-hmm.
And he will no longer be on the set of College Game Day. It's going to be for those of you guys that know Lee Corso, like we've grown up with Lee Corso, like that's our generation, right?
Yeah.
He's been on this show for
now, if you think about it,
40 years almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really like the 90s and 2000s and the 10s, like it's all Lee Corso. So thinking back to that, my question for you, Tim, is first off your thoughts, and then second off, share like your favorite Lee Corso moment as it relates to the Texas Longhorns.
Man, there's a couple of them. My thing is that we are definitely losing a legend. Lee has battled cancer. He's been ill. He's gotten through COVID. You know, Lee's in his 80s, late 80s, early 90s.
85, 86. He's up there.
He's up there. So he's seen a lot. He's been around for a while. He's been a great addition to football. He's, you know, as a kid, I started watching College Game Day from its inception. When I think about it, you know, I think, you know, when that announcement came, I was like, man, this is insane, you know. But we've also talked about this and we've talked about it on a different, you know, we've had different podcasts and a number of things. We kind of seen it kind of coming down the pike. We just didn't know when exactly it was going to happen. I remember vividly, Harish, me and you having a conversation that, you know, during that COVID period between that 2020, 2022 era was actually, you know, that moment where we thought, okay, you know, this could really be a thing. We need to prepare for it. And seeing him retire, especially, you know, he did, you know, have a battle, you know, he was really sick for a while. And it was really sad to not see Lee, you know, not to see Lee because he wasn't healthy, but not to see him there because he's to me, he is College Game Day, right? And they've prepared us. They've gotten, you know, certain guests, and I think they really hit it out the park with Pat. Having Pat McAfee there, bring that energy, and Lee being so accepting and inviting of Pat was also very great. And to see the respect and admiration that Pat has for Lee is like, it's really cool to see because he's always reverting back to Lee, during segments and things of that nature. So it is going to be it's going to be an emotional thing. I tend to not get emotional about stuff like that, but sports does something to you, man. It's an emotional thing. I don't think people realize how emotional sports can be, from players, coaches, to fans, and so on. So, I always get kind of weirded out when you see, this guy. I think about the Cubs when they won the first World Series, and this guy had been going to Cubs games since he was a child, and his dad passes away before the World Series, and then they win it. And then you see this man just bawling out, like just bawling, like literally just crying his eyes out. And people are like, "Oh, what are you getting so emotional for?" It's because it's a lot of memories and a lot of things tied to sports in general. Whether you're a Cubs fan, whether you're a Longhorn fan like me and Harish, we're diehard fans, and also, again, I can't express this enough. Fan is short for fanatic. So
Right.
it takes a lot of it takes a lot to be a fan. Some people are sick of being Cowboys fans. Some people are sick of being Longhorns fans. I think the Longhorn fan base has been rejuvenated ever since Sark took over. And so, again, my favorite memory of Lee will forever be the Longhorns versus the USC.
You can't forget it. It's the easy one.
You literally can't. You can't think of anything else. Like, I can't think of anything else as a Longhorn fan. Literally everybody on that panel, and even ESPN, we talked about this before years ago about USC and how everybody thought USC was the greatest team of all time, and how they were getting like real life mathematicians and scientists and things of that nature, running stats and running numbers of what USC would do against the 94 Nebraska team, or that 96 Nebraska team, or that 2001 Miami team, or that 2000 Oklahoma team. Like, they were like, this is literally the greatest football, the greatest football team of all time. And I remember specifically watching Lee get up on that TV stage and say, Texas is the most complete football team I have ever seen, from top to bottom, from defense, from safeties on down. And they have Vince Young. This is the most complete team I've ever seen. And when Lee put that Longhorn head on him at the national championship, and you see Kirk, waving the USC hand behind him, it was a great feeling. And then for them to pull that win out the way that they did was literally, and I still believe it since then. We've seen a lot of football since then. It's still one of the greatest football games, if not the greatest football. And I know I'm going on a tangent, but this is a big deal. Like, I don't think I think they did this to prepare us. Listen, we're in April. Football season doesn't start until September, end of August, if you want to say into August. But this is a really, really big deal, and I salute him for it. My other very fond memory is him coming back from his illness, and man, him and Kirk Herbstreit having that moment where Kirk just kind of leans over and hugs him, and you just see Lee just kind of break. That was insane, man. That was insane. A lot of people, didn't expect Lee to make it. We didn't know how sick he was, and apparently he was really, really down. And just glad that he was able to make it. It seems like he's in spirits from the last time we seen him, and I hope that and we know that they will. ESPN will continue to honor Lee regardless of him retiring or not. But
for sure,
it's a sad day. But it's also great because we have a lot of memories. I want to kind of break something down here before you share your before you share your thoughts on it as well. I remember looking over something even a long time ago. I don't know if they still have it up, but Lee Corso had picked Texas, and to be completely honest, he didn't have a great record picking Texas. When he picked Texas, he was 9-8. But when he picked him to lose, he was 4-4. So
Really?
yeah, he was 4-4.
Okay.
Okay. So overall, he was 12-13 when picking Texas games when Texas was involved.
Okay.
And just to give you a good synopsis of the teams that Texas faced: Ohio State, Texas A&M, Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, Texas Tech. I'll forget, that game will forever haunt me.
Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech.
Michael Crabtree, Blake Gideon situation. Missouri, USC, Kansas State, Nebraska. So
wow.
Shout out to Lee. Again, I look forward to seeing him in that last week there. Do we know where he's going to be week 1? Did they announce it?
Do you know what 8:30 is?
No. Oh,
you don't know what's happening 8:30?
You're lying, dude.
Texas, Ohio State. I think that's where he's going to be. And and it actually takes me back to my favorite memory. The last time Texas went to Ohio State and Lee Corso puts on the Buckeye hat and then Texas wins that game.
Oh my gosh. That you don't
I actually have the clip pulled up right here.
Yeah, please show it, please. What a way to go out. What a way to go out.
Like that would be that. I think that makes the most sense.
That's week 1, right?
That's on the 30th. Yeah.
That's week 1. Oh my gosh. That's going to be the premier matchup. That's got to be. Because at that point in time, we don't really have rankings, but I'm going to assume just based off of that, it's going to be a top 5 matchup.
Oh yeah, for sure. Can you hear this?
No.
I like Ohio State 24.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
I tell you one thing. Ohio State #1.
It's the first time he ever actually wore headgear.
I like Ohio State 24.
Oh wow.
That's the first time he actually wore headgear.
Was it against Ohio State, Texas?
Was that a Texas Ohio State game?
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. So that last headgear, that's going to be something, man. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if he picks Ohio State, but I would love for him to go out and put out that Longhorn helmet. Or that.
Hold on, timeout. Breaking news. Kimball Schuessler, solo home run. Texas takes the lead 3-2 over Auburn.
Thank God. Yeah,
this game has been a
I wasn't watching it, but I've been following. They have the update, the ESPN update situation. But man, thank God, because this has been pretty much a rough game. It's been a slugfest.
It's been a picture. And then Gasparino just gets knocked in the knee.
Oh, that's not good. Is he down?
Oh, not Gasparino. Is this Gasparino? This is Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez, I believe. No, he just walked over to first.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll continue to keep you guys updated on that throughout the rest of this short show. Again, shout out to Lee Corso.
What was your final?
That was it. That was the one.
Okay.
I mean, you took the most obvious one, right?
Right.
But yeah, that one reigns supreme in my head, and I think it's perfect for that game, for him to go out on that game.
Yeah.
And I know that first one wasn't related to the Texas game. It was the first, that Ohio State game. I don't know who they played actually. I thought it was Texas, but it wasn't. Okay. That Ohio State game that I just showed was the first time he ever used the headband.
Oh, okay.
And it just makes sense to hey, Texas, Ohio State. Ohio State's the first time he did it. It would make sense if it was the last time he did it.
Understood.
So, and that's kind of tying that sentiment together. And the Texas tie is it's against Texas.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Again, happy retirement to Lee Corso. Man, look at Kirk Herbstreit. I want to share this one more time. I just want you to take a second. Look at how good Kirk Herbstreit looks, man.
All right, good pick.
Yeah, Kirk. That's a young Kirk, man. That's a young Brad Nessler.
Brad Nessler. And like, look at all the hosts they've had. They've had Brad Nessler. They've had Brian. Who's that guy on there? I forgot his name. Oh, I forgot. I forgot his name. Let me see. Oh shoot!
Listen, regardless of the host, I think right now, with just the star power of Pat McAfee, man, they're in really good hands. Pat's gonna keep the energy going. Lee's gonna keep the energy going. I would not be surprised if they have a record-setting situation where that place is just packed with burnt orange and white. And
it's gonna be super cool.
Sure. Scarlet, red, and white. It's gonna be an eventful weekend. I'm excited to see it. 8:30 can't come any faster. I don't like rushing a year along because I like this time of year, but man, that's gonna be a great game. That's gonna be a great atmosphere, and
that's gonna be awesome.
Lee Corso off, that's gonna be awesome. I would not be surprised if they even do some type of tribute to Lee. Even
for sure. So we'll keep eyes on it. We'll keep tracks of it, and yeah. Listen, Tim. The only other thing we've got, and I'll let you take this one. Let's talk about this new rule in college football. I'll kind of let you have the rope. We'll talk about it and we'll get out of here.
Yeah. So, this information came down the pike this morning, where now, if you're in a game and in a situation where you've seen injuries before, you've seen situations in tight games where a player will go down, whether it be, and I would say majority of the time it's cramping. You will see a situation where the athletic trainer will come out. You will see sometimes even the head coach, and you'll see a guy go down on the ground. And from playing football, that is a known thing, right? Especially if you've got a momentum, you've got the timeouts, you got a team driving, and they maybe have made a big play, or maybe they didn't make a big play. Quarterback gets sacked, guy goes down with an injury, stop the clock, gives the opportunity for the coaches to get plays out, maybe even a couple plays, to create maybe a short drive situation. Usually within a minute, 30 seconds, if a player does, if a team doesn't have the timeouts and something happens and it's not in the favor of the marching team, a player will go down and say, like I said, cramping. Well, the NCAA actually came down with a new rule, and I actually like this rule. So if a player in this situation goes down, they will then escort out an actual medical, like an actual physician, to go in, I guess, address the situation to see if there was an actual issue with the injury. So you have a player goes down, normally that medical team goes out. Well, there will now be another guy to go out to assess the situation. And if they find and rule that situation was not a legitimate rule, like a legitimate call for that time, time to be stopped, or for the clock to be stopped, they will now be penalized a timeout. And it could also end with a 5-yard loss. So now you have to really think about what you're going to do in a situation where you're trying to drive and you're trying to win the game, and you don't have those timeouts, and you don't have the you don't have a situation where your quarterback gets sacked and there's like 10, 20 seconds left on the clock. That player going down will now be addressed by an actual physician. And I think that is perfect, because we've seen it happen too many times. And now, again, I don't want to fake if a player goes down, that is a major issue regardless. But clearly, and we know this as a former football player and a person who's played Texas football, that is a thing. A guy, I've seen it happen on my own, playing football on my own. Guy goes down, I got a cramp. He doesn't have a cramp. He's just stalling to get, the next play, stop the clock, get the guy some
Get some
water,
breath. Yeah, get a breather. Yeah.
get a breather. Maybe address the situation with the defensive lineman. Maybe the defensive lineman is giving some offensive linemen some trouble, adjusting, pass protections, things of that nature. Well, now that will come into play. I think this is going to really knock it out the park. I haven't said this in a long time, but the situation addressing this is very, very good. I can't believe that they actually made a rule change that was beneficial to the team that is in the lead. We've seen too many times where a player goes down, they're able to get the playoff that they need, or they're able to get the plays in that they need, and bang, game's over. The opposing team wins the game, and it's all because they were able to get the plays in that they needed to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think here I'm just reading directly from the article you sent me. Under the new rule approved Wednesday, medical personnel enter the field to evaluate an injured player after the ball is spotted by the officiating crew. Now, I think this is the thing to keep in mind, right? This is after the ball is spotted. So once the ball is spotted, if like a player falls or there's some sort of injury that occurs, like a delayed injury, right? That's when this rule goes into effect. So this isn't like as the timeout's being called or anything along those lines. This is after the ball is spotted. And I think that's the key is after the ball is spotted by the officiating crew for the next play, that player's team will be charged a timeout. If the team doesn't have any timeouts remaining, a 5-yard penalty, a 5-yard delay of game penalty will be assessed. And again, this is just an effort to curtail players faking injuries. That's kind of been. This isn't just a problem at the college level; it's a problem at the NFL level, right?
It's a problem at all levels. It's a problem at all levels.
It's happening all over the place. So, really, I think the biggest piece here is after the ball is spotted.
Right.
Once the ball is spotted, this rule goes into effect.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how teams adjust to that. Do they tell the players like, because you know what, the players, the coaches know these rules now, right? Yeah. They know these rules inside and out just as well as anybody else, right? So they might even say, hey, make sure the ball is not spotted before you fall, right? Like that could be a legitimate conversation that happens. Mm-hmm. And it's like the timing of when it happens could change, and it's like it's a cat and mouse game. Like we'll see how the rule plays out this year. We'll also see like how close are they? Like how close are they being asked to call it? We don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yep. And so we'll continue to monitor that situation. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I mean that's all we got for tonight's show, folks. Tim, you got anything else?
I do have one thing that I want to talk about. I know this is, he's no longer a Texas Longhorn, but Johntay Cook going into the portal for the third time is absolutely insane. He got arrested when he stepped foot on the Washington campus. Don't necessarily know what happened. They didn't really go into details. I hadn't really seen much. I just know that he did get arrested. That was reported, but we don't necessarily know the ins and outs of that situation. But he's entered into the transfer portal for the third time in less than a year. Johntay Cook was dismissed from the team earlier or late last year in the midst of an SEC title run. And he could have – it frustrates me because, there have been some players that Texas has picked up. There's been some players that Texas are going to have some visits coming up next week that are really, really big. But it hurts me because Johntay Cook was the next guy up. And I don't think he realized that. I think we saw glimpses of what Johntay Cook could do, and Johntay Cook is a fantastic player. Not to say that he will never be on a football field again. We know that at sometimes and in certain measures, talent kind of overweighs certain things in some measures. I'm not saying that he's a Nico Yamalama, whatever, however you say that man's name, your name. But he's going to be highly touted. I don't necessarily know where he's going to end up. There's been no leaks or news or leads on where he might actually end up, but it just hurts because I really would have liked to see what he would have done with this group of receivers that are coming in, because these groups group of young guys that are coming are going to be really, really, really talented. And Dante Cook would have been that guy to be next up.
He just had to wait, man. He just had to wait. He was right there.
Because nobody knew what Matthew Golden was going to do. I thought we might have been able to get Matthew Golden one more year, if I'm not mistaken. I thought he was a junior. Yeah, he's a junior.
He was a junior, yeah.
Didn't he had a great year. And he's really put on a show. And Chante would have been the next up, dude. It's really just kind of frustrating to see him going. I don't see him coming back to Texas. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not asking him to come back to Texas because clearly he's been somewhat of a thorn. He's been a problem. And so I don't want that to be Texas's problem.
For sure.
Sark has made it very clear once you go to the portal, ain't no coming back type situation. We also, Bert Auburn jumped in the portal. Don't necessarily know why. Maybe there's another guy coming down the pike.
I know why. Because the dude is cooked. He ain't going to start this year. That's why. He's not starting. And he's cooked. They're going to go with Will Stone. They're going to go with Will Stone this year is what I've been hearing from spring.
Okay. Bert Auburn, listen, he started out really great. He
started out great. I don't know what happened.
Great, something in within the last couple of seasons didn't necessarily work out. I hate to see him go, but I understand he wants to, try to, maybe get out of Texas. Maybe he can find his rhythm again.
Yeah.
Like you said, he started out on fire for 1 or 2 seasons. Bert Auburn was hitting from everywhere. Deep kicks, kicks from all different types of hashes, deep left, deep right. He was on point down the middle. Of course, he was money down the middle. But we hate to see him go. There was also another running back. I can't remember his last name. We did flip him from. He was a running back. We did flip him from Tulsa in the last minute to Texas. I think he's seen the writing on the wall, and I think he's decided to go elsewhere.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's not I wouldn't say he's a major player, but he's definitely.
When did this happen?
Late yesterday. I want to say about 8 or 9 p.m. yesterday.
Was it like on Hayes'? Did Hayes announce it or something?
No, it was an Inside Texas announcement, and shout out to those guys at Inside Texas. They stay on top of it, and they announced that there was a running back out of the University of Texas that he I would say he really wasn't getting any play. He was a freshman. I just don't see with the talent that we got coming in to Texas, I don't see him making any really big charges. Didn't really hear much about him during spring practice. That's not to say that he's not a good player, but I understand why he would move around. That running back room is loaded, and then you're getting a CJ Baxter back who's going to have something to prove because he's gonna be running pretty mad. And Texas is poised, whether you guys that don't like Texas like to hear it or not, Texas is poised to make a really strong run, especially within these next 2 to 3 years, and I think even beyond with the addition of Diabell and a couple other guys that are coming in here. So that's really it. My last question that has nothing to do with football: are you going to go see Sinners?
Yes,
we
are going tomorrow.
Okay.
We both get off early tomorrow. We are going to go to happy hour and then go watch it.
Yeah. So for y'all that don't watch the
it's insane.
Is a Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan film. This is their fifth film that they worked on together. I've really appreciated what Ryan Coogler has done over the last couple of years, and this is his new project. And he's dipping into the horror realm. And from what people are saying is this is a masterpiece of a movie. So I'm really excited to see it. Are y'all going to go see it in IMAX? He's begging
apparently that's the recommendation to go see it. So yes,
it is the recommendation to go see it. To go see it in IMAX 70 millimeter if you can. That's usually going to be found at your IMAX theater. Unfortunately, we only have one in Austin. I'm hoping that we get more with these type of movies being produced.
Is it at the museum? The The Bob is the Bob Bullock.
Downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one with the 70 millimeter. Now, of
Yep.
course, we have IMAX film showings, but not in 70 millimeter. That's just something special. I've been lucky to see a movie in 70 millimeter, and that was Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight Returns movie. Now, just so you guys know, that it's very rare for somebody to shoot completely like in 70 millimeter film. It's a real film, cinematography nerd type stuff, but I do like the fact that we are going to be able to see that in its true form in 70 millimeter. So I do plan on seeing it. It's been really hard to get an IMAX ticket, especially at the 70 millimeters. That thing's been sold out for days. I mean, even weeks.
We're actually able to get some right now, so I think we're gonna go ahead and order these tonight.
Right.
There's a 7:30 available tomorrow at Bob Bullock for Sinners. But yes, we will be going to see this for sure.
So other than that, man, we got the NFL draft next week, guys. So it's just as it's slow, it is beginning to pick up. We do have the Texas Fan Day coming up next weekend. That is also going to be a big deal. So we will definitely have some things to talk about. Like I said earlier in the show, there is an opportunity for some big time recruits to come in. I know that there's a defensive tackle coming in. I can't remember where he's coming from right now. My mind is all over the place.
I got it pulled up right now. So there's 3 guys right now. There's the tight end from Cal.
Right.
There is the defensive end from Texas State.
Okay.
And then there's a defensive lineman from Maryland. He was on campus today, Lavon Johnson.
There we go. He was on campus today. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, so guys, there are quite a few things going on in the background. It's just not a lot of it. And so once it picks up, like I said, next week is the draft, and we'll definitely be talking about that for sure. Might have to do an early show because doesn't that start on Thursday?
We're going to do a Tuesday show next week because I'm doing the live show for the draft on Thursday for the Colts.
Okay, for sure.
Also, that's that visit today that defensive lineman had. T'Vondre Sweat was on a FaceTime call with them.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
They are pulling out all the big boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and if you guys haven't, T'Vondre had a great year, even as a Tennessee Titan. You can't knock what talent is talent.
I hate that he went there so much, man. I hate it so much. Because I want him to do well, but it's the freaking Titans, dude.
It's the Titans, man. It's right in your backyard, man. So trust me, I understand. Listen, every time I see Xavier Worthy flash across the screen, it just burns me up. But hey, it's all good. Harish, you got anything before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Just hope Texas pulls this out. 6 more outs, and there are actually technically 3 more outs. And Needham Insurance, bottom of the 8th. 1 out, no outs. Jalen Flores at bat, so we'll keep you guys updated there. I say, man, I'm good. I'm ready to roll.
Yes, sir. Again, we appreciate you guys coming in. Apologies for starting late, but hey, we appreciate it. We'll be back next week. We'll be back earlier than normal.
Tuesday.
That's what we said. We'll be back on Tuesday, same time, same channel. Make sure you guys continue to follow us again on fanbattlesports.com. Also make sure that you follow us on Twitter, LH Fan Battle. You can find me at Tim Wayne. And where can they find you? I can never get this right. Where can they find you at?
The Uncle Gandhi.
And then again, make sure you follow us on YouTube, guys. We really, really, really appreciate it. Again, shout out to our guys on Twitch, not Twitch. Shout out to our guys on TikTok. Wrong app. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys being active. We appreciate you guys providing us feedback and letting us know how y'all feel about certain stuff going on the 40 acres. With that said, I don't have anything else, man. Harish, take us out.
Yeah, one last thing. 2 weeks from tonight, Eric Henry will be on the show. He's a Texas beat writer for 24/7.
Yes, sir.
Been working to get him on for a few weeks. He's the main Texas beat writer for Horns 24/7. So 2 weeks from tonight, join us. It's going to be action packed. We'll have a lot to talk about. The draft would have just happened.
Yep.
He also covers Texas baseball. He covers everything Texas. For Horns 24/7. So 2 weeks from tonight, Eric Henry. We'll get that stuff out next week, but that'll be happening tonight. So that'll be a good night. But yeah, that's it. Well, good luck to the Horns. Hopefully they can close this out. Tim, if there's nothing else, we out of here.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Joe
my name's
Gabriel.
Harish. That's my game. That's my guy, Tim Wayne. We out of here. Peace.
Joe Gabriel.
Go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard.